Humans, I gotta be honest, I'm feeling a little something off-center lately. Like the sky seems a little grayer, the air a little chilled, like I'm breathing in a beer cooler. The vibe is kind of still, you know, like pond water. Theoretically, it's normal. There's ponds everywhere, it's part of nature. But when you get near one, there's a vibe, a sense, a haunted aura that like something's not right, and there's probably a swamp thing or one of those interdimensional sewer clowns nearby. Sure, by appearances, the neighborhood is quiet, but you know, under the surface, something is strange, cold, inside and out, like eating soup unheated from a can. Seems wrong, but theoretically, it's fine. Progresso settled that debate in 2023 when it was called out on TikTok, and they came back with, quote, "Our soups provide high-quality meals without the extra prep work or cooking time needed," which is Real Housewives of them. They just needed to add "girl" at the end. And it's because the high heat canning process, blah, 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 science. Just don't eat something from a cracked, dented, or bulging can. P.S. Bulging Can is opening for chilled soup at the Metro this weekend. That is the kind of dumb shit I'm thinking about right now, so you know where I'm at. So yeah, I'm feeling a kind of way, a certain cold doldrum, a coldrum, an unease as it is in me. Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe it's seasonal depression. Whatever the chemical reason for my blahs, I'm feeling it. But it's no surprise, because humans, I gotta say it, shit's fucking bleak. You know it. You feel it. It's dark out there. The news is like riding behind a truck on a highway that definitely didn't secure the full-size logs on the back. And yeah, Final Destination 2 was a movie, but it could happen, right? Except in 2026, those truck logs have no chains, they are on fire, and there is a psycho in the back chucking piss balloons. And to even shrug with melancholy in this moment, in this time, is pretty pompous. Sighing in this economy? But I gotta admit, that's the feeling, that's the vibe, that's a certain kind of way. Chilling just under the surface of the pond that is me. And in that kind of gloom, one turns to comforts. For some, it's blankets and Frasier reruns. Others, it's stouts and dairy girls. It doesn't matter. Shots and Schitt's Creek. You do you. And invite me because I'm depressed. TV through it all is usually there for you, be it on a phone, on a wall, on a plane, on a train, fucking box and socks, Dr. Seuss. Whatever rhyming whimsy you gotta add to make it spicy, because I'm freaked out of my stride, with everything. Probably because I'm overstimulated, undersatiated, suffering a severe lack of zazz. So I gotta add it where I can in these moments. I gotta focus on something else for a bit. And lucky for us, when all hope is lost, when the world seems at its worst, we can turn on the signal, pick up the red phone, lift up the sword, and summon to the surface a super hyperfixation lore dump. Yeah! Surprise, chumps! You all thought I was Chad the Bird. Turns out I've been Chad Zero this whole time. Forged in a Google Drive, raised in the wiki tunnels of the very internet itself, knit from the threads of Reddit, substacked and packed with trivia, able to travel to anywhere at any time by rabbit hole. Chad Zero super hyperfixation team, go! And that's me, I'm the team. But I'm here to save the day through the awesome power of source material. Don't get excited, this is gonna get real technical. So, back in 1993 in Japan, after researching the special effects you saw in the American RKO movie King Kong, I don't know if you heard of it. Yeah, big woo for King Kong. So well deserved, underappreciated. Special effects coordinator Eiji Tsuburaya started experimenting with some special effects of his own. And in 1954, he teamed up with director Ishiro Honda, utilizing the subgenre of special effects, or Tokusatsu, remember that, called suitmation. That is a human in a suit stomping miniatures. Hydrate and keep up. We have a ride ahead of us. In order to bring to life their own giant-ass city-smashing baddie, you know, and still get fucking hyped for today, Godzilla, which makes Tsuburaya's employer, former Kabuki managing company turned movie studio Toho Studios, into what it is now. Regarded as one of the biggest effects studios in the world and the largest of Japan's Big Four films, 100-yard punting the kaiju, which is giant monster, genre of Japanese cinema into the monster boom. We kind of got that going on right now with Godzilla and Kong versus whatever the fuck is happening. I think it's like a Predator or it's Pennywise. Either way, Bill Skarsgård is going to be in there somewhere. Tsuburaya would go on to create Ultraman, which is like Superman, but he's got a helmet like the Rocketeer. Does it get any better than that? Yes! Hold on! Meanwhile, in 1957, Shin Toho Studios, founded out of Toho Studios after a heated and nasty strike, Is There Any Other Kind? In 1947, starts producing a screen serial about a superhero created from the strongest steel by the Peace Council of the Emerald Planet, you know, like you do, that would become Japan's first on-screen superhero, Supergiant, aka Starman, not that Starman, no, not that other Starman. This sets off a super obsession with Max superheroes that grows big and fights kaiju giant monster. Yes, the monsters in Pacific Rim are kaiju. Yeah, that's a direct reference, and if you're tuned out now, you're denying yourself the awesome power of the super hyperfixation lore dump. Plus, if you can tell me what you think is going to happen on this season of The Pit, you can fucking follow this. So, kicking off with the franchise Kamen Rider from Toei Studios and Shotaro Ishinomori, remember that name, who is a whole ass other podcast, but just know has a show that's got a bunch of motorcycle riding heroes that transform into mass superheroes by saying Henshin, which means transform, which begins the Henshin boom of the 1970s. Are you writing this down? Do you want to talk about the news? We talk about the news. We talk about the Senate hearings, if that'll make you feel better. No? Fucking A right. Henshin! All of this falls under the Japanese genre of film and TV dedicated to special effects called Tokusatsu. I told you to remember that. JK, I know I lost you. Don't worry. Just stay alive, and I will bring you home. And now the kids want more mass superheroes. Kamen Rider creator Shotaro Ishinomori has created a ton of Tokusatsu properties, known now as the Japanese manga equivalent of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who are going to come in later. Don't freak out, Uncle Patriot. So, Shotaro Ishinomori has a new show in the hopper about a team that uses hardcore tech to transform Henshin into a team of mass superheroes. Is there any other kind? To battle Lovecraftian threats to Earth that get here, get huge, so the heroes gotta use giant robots to fight them, you know, like you fucking do. Called Super Sentai, which premiered 51 years ago in 1975. This show goes through season after season of Monster of the Week, Tokusatsu, heavy henshin, kaiju versus superhero mayhem, and the studio, Toei, in case you forgot, is approached by Marvel Studios in 1978 to bring Spider-Man to Japan. Now you're paying attention. Stan Lee tries to sell one of the iterations of Super Sentai called Sun Vulcan, which is technically a Marvel property, even though Marvel didn't do shit except try to sell it to an American audience, which, I don't know if you've been here, is a little hard to please. Sun Volume does not go overseas, but then, in the 80s, animator producer Chaim Saban is on a run, having done the animated ALF series in 1987, the new Archies, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, the Kid and Play animated show in 1990, which was also produced by Marvel, by the way, in case you got trivia later, Eek the Cat, and eventually another Marvel property in 1992 called X-Men. Whose theme song from Ron Wasserman, remember that name, is matched only by Whitney Houston's I'm Your Baby Tonight. Google it. But then, 1980, Chaim Saban is in a hotel in Japan, and the only thing that happens to be on is the 8th installment of Super Sentai called Shodenshi Bioman. Saban is hooked, figures that's what the kids are into. Brings it to America in 1985, called Bioman, and it dies. No one wants it. 1992, fresh into X-Men, he gets the attention of former Marvel president, now Fox Kids president, Margaret Loesch, who, since she was all Marvel, knows exactly who Super Sentai was, because its creator, do you remember? Shotaro Ishinomori, was noted for being Japan's answer to what Marvel was doing. So she loves the idea of greenlighting a Tokusatsu show for American audiences, but instead of starting from scratch, they figured they could use the footage from Super Sentai since no one in America was familiar with it and still isn't, given the looks I'm getting right now. And since everyone was in mass, the American version could have people transform Henshin into these guys, and they only had to shoot the English side to create the story and plot between the giant suit-mation rubber kaiju ass-kicking. This is known as localization, and it's not the first time you did it. America, you did it way back in 1956 when you put Raymond Burr into a little movie we just talked about called Godzilla. Now, You have Super Sentai action, American English plot. All you need was a kickin' theme song. So Saban goes to Ron, X-Men, possibly Whitney Houston Wasserman, because he knew Ron would just go with it, and go he did, creating the iconic song to accompany Saban's greatest achievement, the Japanese-American Tokusatsu Henshin collab, so powerful it could only be called the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in 1993. From then on, all they had to do was reboot when a new series of Super Sentai came out, and came out they did, running Mighty Morphin Power Rangers through more than 28 eras for 33 years and 3 movies and over $8 billion, showing no sign of stopping since Super Sentai was still on the air until February 8th, 2026. The last episode of the latest Super Sentai series, #1 Sentai Goes Yuger, aired last episode of itself, and the entire fucking franchise, ending a 51-year run of Super Sentai. Now, the future of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is uncertain, but you didn't even know it was still going on. And that is the awesome power of super hyperfixation lore dumps. Humans, sometimes in the face of bleak fuckery and sadness and stagnant pond waters of a year so far, there is nothing like a good dump. And thankfully, you got me, and we just took it together. Thank you, I love you, good night.
Folks, give it up for Chad the Bird. He's on the show every week.
Nailed it.